This is the second part of facts about homunculus. On the previous, we discussed about father, pride, lust, greed, and envy. Now moving on, we will discuss the other homunculus, so here goes. Sloth was the fifth homunculus created by Father. Even though his name is Sloth, he was the fastest out of all the 7 homunculus. He is also the second largest homunculus, since Envy's true form was the largest of them all. Sloth appearances mixes the other homunculus. He has the hairstyle of Envy, the same type of eyes as Gluttony, and the saw-like teeth of Greed. He has also a reference to Divine Comedy in which the indolent are told to engage in constant activity to cleanse them of their slothful ways. Sloth's speed and strength may be based on the fact that a lazy person possesses so much potential, but they choose to waste their abilities. Gluttony was the 6th homunculus created by Father, and he is a hunger-fueled homunculi. Despite his behavior, he is the only homunculus that has no hatred over the humans, and he is surprisingly kind. His childishness appears that he has no idea that the people he eats dies in the process. He was the only homunculus to die many times and be reborn again. Ironically, his last death was at the hand of his brother, Pride. Pride's eating Gluttony is also reference to Divine Comedy, where the gluttonous are continually tortured by being eaten by Hellscar's dog, Cerberus. Gluttony was a failed creation of the Gate of Truth by Father. Father tried to recreate the Gate of Truth to bypass it and somehow get control over it. However, the gate created was a fake and led to another dimension. His pairing with lust and wrath may have been reference to medieval legend of John Beverly, who was tested by gods by sending an angel and forced him to choose between 3 sins: drunkenness, which is gluttony, rape, which is lust, or murder, which is wrath. The man chose drunkenness, believing it was the least harmful, but he raped and murdered his sister while in a drunken state. Wrath was the 7th and the last homunculus created, though he was the first successful human homunculus hybrid. The way that Wrath was defeated by Scar is rather ironic to Wrath's belief. During the Ishvalan War, Wrath criticized the Ishvalan that declared that God would strike Wrath down, to which Wrath asked how many lives he had to take and how long it would be before their God would do so, before criticizing the notion of God. And in the final battle with Scar, Wrath declared that there was no such thing as God. However, it was at this point that the sun revealed itself and blinded Wrath long enough for Scar to sever Wrath's hand, defeating him. That this indicates that it was an act of God that defeated Wrath. Wrath's loss of his arms might be a reference to Dante Alighieri's Inferno, where the wrathful have their limbs ripped off their body. Ouroboros is a symbol of homunculus in the series. Lust's symbol is located above her breast, Gluttony in his tongue, Envy in his left thigh, Greed on the back of his hand, Wrath in his left eye, Sloth in his right shoulder, while Pride is the only homunculus that has no Ouroboros symbol, but he has a circular mark on his forehead when he's true form. In the first anime, homunculi can be reduced to a state where they are completely dominated by their sin if their tattoo is removed. This is seen with Gluttony when his tattoo is removed and he becomes a mindless eating machine. The Philospher Stone is a powerful transmutation amplifier in the series. In alchemy, equivalent exchange is needed, but if someone was able to use the Philospher Stone, the law is override. The process of creating the stone requires live human souls. Each time the stone is used, 1 soul is needed. If all souls were to be used, the Philospher Stone will vanish. The first Philospher Stone was created by the dwarf in the flask, or usually known as Father. In the process, all people of Circe's dies and only one was left, which is Van Hohenheim. Van Hohenheim is a human Philosopher's Stone. He stated that there are 536,329 souls within himself, and he was able to speak to the souls and convince to help him. This indicates that while the souls inside of the stones are able to amplify alchemic abilities, when the souls are individualized, the energy that each soul willingly to share are much greater quality than if they were a mass collection of souls with new true will.